Really can't believe it's people in the comments of this student loan situation talking about yeah, this is how the world works. You borrow money, you pay it back. Shut your stupid ass up. A fucking school loan ain't the same as an auto loan or a home loan or a personal loan, you damn idiot. Black people, minorities especially, had to go to school. We ain't left. We had to go to school. I had no choice but to go to damn school. And then when I went to school, it wasn't like I'm working for my damn self now. I'm making money for other people. And the money gets taxed. This shit is all going back into the hand. It's like a big ass circle, and y'all fail to realize that. Your fucking credit score is made the fuck up. That's a made up shit. Money made the fuck up. This is a system. America is a system. I'm confused at how the hell y'all still don't realize this shit. Then on top of that, y'all ain't even willing to try to make reasonable payment plans. Y'all ain't even trying to do like $100 a month. Y'all want the whole shit. Y'all want $2,000 a month on a goddamn degree that people ain't even using. When I got out of school, I couldn't even use my degree right away. They wanted 100 years of experience. Like, what the Y'all garnish my wages. I'm garnishing my damn job. Period. I get energy siphoned daily. Restraining myself from hopping through the computer and choking people out daily. And I've been doing this shit since I've been 16. I've been working in America since I've been 16 and ain't got too much shit to show for it other than the standard American properties. So if you disagree with whatever I say, you could do the hokey pokey, turn your ass around, lick your own ass and burn in hell. I don't know if I've had too many magical chocolates, but I'm gonna need y'all to wrap your mind around what we're really in. Cause y'all are sick.
I'm not paying back my student loans. I do not care. Oh, but what about your credit score? What am I going to do with a good credit score? Buy a house on starvation wages? Buy a car I can't afford to insure? I'm not paying them back. I don't give a shit about my credit score. Oh, they're going to garnish your wages. Most of us are underemployed. If they start taking additional money out of my paycheck, I just won't work. My life will not get worse. I'm not going to have the money anyway, so you can't garnish what isn't there. I grew up in a far-right, conservative, hardcore Republican family, and since like kindergarten, I have been conditioned to believe that if I did not go to college, I would not be successful. I was told that if I locked in, got great grades in high school, got into college, focused, and got my degree, that I would have a life similar to the life my parents had, where my dad worked one job for like 35 years, was able to buy a house and go on vacation and support his family. That doesn't exist anymore. There's no jobs out there with pension plans. There's no jobs out there that let people my age just like buy a house. So what was all that work for? Generations of Americans have been told that if they went to college and they did the right thing, took out these loans, that it would be worth it. And most of us are finding out it's not even remotely close to worth it. You're telling me these millionaires and billionaires were able to get these PPE loans forgiven that they took out during the pandemic for millions of dollars? But I have 30 grand in college debt left and I'm refusing to pay it back, and now I'm the problem?
I already wasn't planning on paying the student loans. I'm gonna just give it to you straight right here. I was never planning on giving it back from the moment that I signed up for it. I'm triple not paying it now. I'm triple not paying it now. Are y'all crazy? Mind you, I'm not even supposed to be on this app. I quit this app, but I'm back now because shit has gotten out of hand. You're taking money out of people's checks.
I've been paying on these loans for 15 or 20 years, and I still owe the exact same amount that I owed when I borrowed it. I have paid $50,000 to my $50,000 loan. I've paid over that. And I still owe like $47,000. They're never going away. I could pay on them for 50 years. And when I die, the bill will go in my casket with me. You want to know why people don't want to pay them? It's because they're never ending. It's not like a normal loan. They're impossible to pay. And the interest rates are astronomical. And they don't want us to be able to pay them off. They're predatory. And they should be illegal. Getting an education should be free. We live in America. Nothing is free. So in America, you can go to college for $200,000 and not even be guaranteed a job. If you get a job, you might make $20 an hour, the same as the guy at McDonald's, but have to pay student loans back.
Shalom. I would like to give all honor, Glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakodash. I would like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim, pushing his word across the four corners of the world. Just another news update through the spirit, the power, and the vibration of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. And as you may know or not, the Department of Education are about to soon start garnishing wages on defaulted student loan borrowers. And it's going to take effect on May the 5th, 2025. And as you just saw from those various clips at the beginning of this video of different Americans hopping on social media and sharing their financial frustrations in regards to this new policy that's about to come into effect. And I have an article from CNBC.com, and the title says, if you're behind on student loan payments, the government could take money out of your paycheck. What to do if you can't afford to pay. And this article was published on April the 25th, 2025. And it says, the hammer is coming down on federal student loan borrowers who haven't been making payments. The Department of Education on Monday announced it would resume involuntary collections for federal borrowers with defaulted loans on May 5th. President Donald Trump first put a pause on collections activity for federal student loans in March 2020. The pause continued under President Joe Biden. So let's harp on this point right here from the first paragraph. The hammer is coming down on federal student loan borrowers who haven't been making payments. And that hammer is referencing to America, aka Babylon the Great. And who is the current nation of people that's ruling America? Again, Babylon the Great. That's Esau, Edom, who are the so-called Caucasian race within today's time. And whereas President Donald Trump, President Joe Biden happens to be a part of that nation of Edom. And let's get right quick. Jeremiah 50:23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? So again, that hammer is referencing to Esau, Edom, under his establishment, America, which is biblically codified as Babylon the Great. And once you go to the word hammer right here within the blue letter, it goes into devastator. And once you devastate someone, that means that you're destroying them. You are ruining them, plundering, laying desolate, which is the MO of Esau, Edom, under his wicked establishment, America. Hence his unrighteous decrees. And let's get right quick, Isaiah 10:1, and this is within the NLT, the New Living Translation. What sorrow awaits the unjust judges and those who issue unfair laws. So that unjust judge is referencing to Esau, Edom. When you read the book of Sirach, the 10th chapter, it goes into how an unwise judge destroyed his people. And within this sense or case, that's referencing to Esau, Edom. And we are definitely within those harsh economic times where the vast majority of the people are starting to feel the bear of the brunt of Esau's rulership. That's why more and more people are going to the forefront, hence social media, and sharing their sentiments regarding this inflation woes. So again, what sorrow awaits the unjust judges and those who issue unfair laws, which is why it's stated within Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And that's going to refer to Yahweh Shai along with his day ones. Pursuant to Isaiah 32:1 within the NLT also, how a righteous king is coming and honest princes will rule under him. And that's referring to Yahweh Shai's day one. And those honest princes are referring to Yahweh Shai's day ones, the elect Israelite men who will be a part of that governing body within the next global kingdom to come. And that's going to be the kingdom of heaven, which is interchangeable with the kingdom of Yahweh Shai. So when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn, which is why you're seeing more and more compilation of videos of people groaning, complaining, griping, just in that spirit of despair, hopelessness, and also just being angry of the unfair and unjust laws within this American system. Like, people are really tired. and more so they're tired of the current rulership. And one of those immoral practices is a thing that Esau has called predatory lending. And it refers to an unethical practice that's being conducted with these lending organizations. And throughout the loan process, the terms and conditions of that particular loan are very deceptive, unfair, biased, and fraudulent. And again, that's the MO of Esau Edom. And I did a video some years ago, and more specifically back in like October 2021, and it was going into predatory lending. And within that video, it was like a short documentary, and they cover a county within Mississippi called Holmes County. And at that particular time frame, the median household income within Holmes County was like $22,000. And that was the lowest median household income at that particular time frame. And you already know who predominantly dwells there, Jake, or you so-called minorities, or you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So of course, within that county, Jake doesn't have it like that. And they're very poverty stricken. So what are those struggling Jakes within Holmes County other financial solutions? They start going to these different lending or loaning companies. And that's where that predatory lending comes into effect. It hits the word predatory, which goes into like plundering, ravaging, or devastating. And those particular words all embodies Esau Edom as a whole. And they place those unfair, unethical, and fraudulent practices upon Jake. That's why it's stated within Zephaniah 2:1, O nation not desired. And that makes me think about that scene from this movie called Menace to Society that came out like in 1993. And when they was in that classroom, the Jake teacher told Cain, the hunt is on and you are the prey. So again, O nation not desired. And that's due to the unfair, unrighteous decrees that Esau Edom is issuing out here. And now it's taking effect upon these other nations, mainly Esau Edom as well. So what sorrow awaits the unjust judges and those who issue unfair laws, which are those unrighteous decrees. Verse 2, they deprive the poor of justice and deny the rights of the needy among my people. They prey on widows and take advantage of orphans. And the deprived or the needy or the poor is referencing to Jake, you Israelites. So notice right here it's stated, they prey on widows and take advantage of orphans. And that takes me right back to Jeremiah 50:23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, which goes into a trap. And that's because Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua has set up America to be that golden standard amongst these other nations, which is why you had within America's peak around like the 1950s that was called the Golden Age. And that's where these Americans, especially Trump, are desperately trying to get back to, which is unreachable due to end-time biblical prophecies. So therefore, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua is supplanting America. Like a lot of these different Americans really think America will be made great again. And that's that pride and arrogancy that Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua wants America to be in. So therefore, they can be justified by taking America off the world stage. And Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua is supporting that spirit of waging war upon these different foreign kings of these other nations. And these foreign nations are going to come all united as one to destroy that devastator, to lay desolate the hammer of the whole earth. Again, America, which is why we're seeing more and more talks or those circulating stories or rumors of wars of World War III within the current news. So I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware, thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. All right, so back to the article. Borrowers with direct federal loans who don't make a payment on their loans or arrangements for a forbearance or deferment for at least 270 days past their first missed due date are considered in default. At least 5 million borrowers currently have loans in default, Education Department says, and another 4 million are in late stage delinquency, meaning their loans are between 90 and 180 days past due. Together, these groups could bring the total number of borrowers in default close to 10 million in the coming weeks, Education Department says. American taxpayers will no longer be forced to serve as collateral for irresponsible student loan policies, Secretary of Education Linda McMahon said in a statement. And I personally remember growing up in those days, like when you owe these different lending or loan companies back in the day, like people would go in hiding, like there was a fugitive. But that shows you through the spirit that we are definitely within the last days, how people are becoming more lovers of themselves and being high-minded. And you will have these people that owe student loans or the IRS or any other type of loan company or lending agency. And these people who are in debt will hop on social media and proudly boast how they're not going to pay these loans back. Like, do you know that these people from these loan companies or lending agencies can come across your video of you proudly vocalizing this madness? Like, these people are really bugged out. They're crazy. And that's exactly where we are at within these current times. Like, where people do not care. Like, these people are more financially worn out and just plain tired and just totally burnt out for this so-called American standard of life, where they feel hopeless now. And whereas they do not care about their consequences due to their actions. So now a lot of these different student loan companies are coming back in blood. And it says right here, there has been a lot of back and forth around when borrowers have to make student loan payments, when repayment plan options are available, and whether any of their debt can or will be forgiven in the last few years. But the Education Department is attempting to send a clear message to borrowers: pay or face the consequences. Borrowers who don't make payments on time will see their credit scores go down, and in some cases, their wages automatically garnished, McMahon wrote in an op-ed for the Wall Street Journal. And from these different videos of these Americans struggling, and they hopping on social media and sharing their sentiment about these inflation woes, economic frustrations, and now this student loan debt ordeal. Like, these Americans are so financially fed up that they are at that brink to just quitting their jobs and not worrying about their wages getting garnished at all. But these are the troublesome times that we are in. And like we always say through the spirit, it's only going to get worse from here. And that's because who's really going to bear the brunt of this student loan collection situation are you American women. Which takes me right to this article from Forbes.com. And the title says, as student loan wage garnishment resumes, women will bear the brunt. And to bear the brunt, that means to endure or suffer the worst part of something that's very unpleasant or harmful. And that's because, beginning with Eve, spiraling on down to the modern Israelite woman, you fell for the charm of that serpent, which is Esau Edom. You believe into the ideology of women's rights, feminism, and just being totally liberated as a woman. And that game and charm that the serpent was spewing out to you, it sounded so good at that particular time frame that you never thought about the bare end of it, which are those repercussions. And we're within those times that it's about to be a harsh reality for you proudful American women that are at ease. So again, you all, for the most part, are going to bear the brunt of this student loan wage garnishment policy. And this article was published on April the 25th, 2025. And it says right here, student loan wage garnishment could hit women the hardest. The U.S. Department of Education has announced that it will resume student loan wage garnishment for borrowers in default, ending a years-long reprieve that began early in the pandemic. For the first time in 5 years, Americans who have fallen behind on their federal student loans could see part of their paychecks seized to repay that debt. While this move affects millions of borrowers, this is likely to hit women borrowers the hardest, argues 19 News, an independent nonprofit newsroom reporting on gender, politics, and policy. Women hold the majority of outstanding student loan debt and earn less on average than men, making any wage seizure especially punishing for their finances. So yeah, so there we go. You powerful American women, especially you powerful Israelite women that are wholeheartedly, emotionally, and spiritually invested into this so-called American standard of life, you are really about to be slapped in the face by that harsh reality of trusting into Egypt. Because at the end of the day, by trusting into this establishment, America, you are going to be met with hurt, despair, shame, and confusion by this cruel Lord, Esau Edom, in which we definitely believe through the Spirit that has to be President Donald Trump. And that takes me right to Isaiah 19:4, also within the NLT. I will hand Egypt over to a hard, cruel master. A fierce king will rule them. And within GMS and our affiliate camps, we definitely believe through the Spirit that has to be Donald Trump. Like the rate that he's moving concerning these draconian executive orders and policies, this end time prophecy can only fit him. Because we are definitely within that last stage or process of America's reign. So therefore, this can only be Donald Trump. So a fierce king will rule them, said the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua of heaven's armies. And that cruel master or Lord is coming down hard upon you powerful American women that are at ease. And that takes me right to Isaiah 32:9, also within the NLT. Listen, you women who lie around in ease, which means that you are very complacent within your comfort as an American. You know, with your first world privileges, being placed upon a pedestal, and where you will have simple men that will worship you. So you are likened unto a demigod within this American establishment that was given to you by Esau Edom, that serpent. And that covenant that you made with death is about to be soon disannulled. So listen, you women who lie around in ease, listen to me, you who are so smug. In a short time, just a little more than a year, you careless ones will suddenly begin to care, for your fruit crops will fail and a harvest will never take place. Which means that this American establishment, which will be decreed by this cruel master, Donald Trump, will start taking away your comforts, your goodies, your so-called first world privileges. Verse 11, tremble, you women of ease, throw off your complacency, strip off your pretty clothes, and put on burlap to show your grief. And we are slowly but surely starting to see this transition happening concerning these economic frustrations, financial woes, and these inflation rents of these American women uploading on social media. All for the world to see your shameful spewing. And it's only going to get worse from here. And for some of you women who have these so-called pretty privileges, a lot of these modern men are waking up to the point and they do not care about your so-called pretty privileges. That's because a lot of you are so indoctrinated with this American mindset, which is that Babylonian wine, that these men do not care how you look or what you think that you might bring to the table. Like, they do not want to deal with those type of headaches anymore. So now you're on your own. You got to get it how you live. So beat your breasts in sorrow for your bountiful farms and your fruitful grapevines, for your land will be overgrown with thorns and briars. Your joyful homes and happy towns will be gone. So yeah, that's it right there through the Spirit. And that's kind of funny because right here within this image on this article, who are they displaying? An American woman that's in that spirit of despair, hopelessness, just totally stressed out, which is soon going to be the harsh reality for all of you powerful American women, especially for the ones of you Israelite women that do not want to come back to your natural element as being subservient unto a hopeful elect Israelite man. So with that, hopefully you all was edified, you all stay strong, keep pushing forward. Shalom.